Hello everyone and welcome back to my playthrough for Digimon World 2003, and having defeated Master Tyrannomon and presenting the East Sector leader with the old claw, we are now here ready to take on the East Sector leader. And Heat Cutter, well, I did reasonable damage. Heat Cutter is the attack that I think is going to serve me best on this opponent, because fire does work relatively well, and I managed to take him down with 2 attacks. That's good going. And now Tyrannomon, well, Frost Cutter is going to serve me better here. I don't think it's hugely effective, but it's certainly going to be more effective than Heat Cutter, is trying to beat fire with fire really isn't a fantastic idea. It's really not effective at all. I think this will take 3 attacks. I can't really grumble at that. I was thinking 3 or 4 would be about right. And his final Digimon, which is going to be Apemon, probably is the biggest threat, because Apemon is quite a fast Digimon. He does have quite high speed, so you know, he's prone to attacking twice, blocking your attacks, and you not blocking too many of his. But fire works relatively well against Apemon, which is why I'm using Heat Cutter. And you know, I've got a fair bit of confidence in this, because it looks like it's going to take 3 attacks. He's down to the red. Blocked. Oh, that would have been the winning attack as well. And attacking twice puts me in but I was going to say a small bit of pressure, but I just blocked his attack there. Okay, and that will be the end of that. So, having defeated the leader, I will be presented with the badge, and now we get the ball rolling with our ability to go to the South Sector. And it's not an immediate thing. I do have to do a fair bit wandering around, but I think the initial thing that I have to do is go to the Kicking Forest, where I can attempt to make it into the South Sector, but I won't have any joy, and it will be discovered that I need a blue card in order to make it to the South Sector. And then I have to track down various Gilmon until eventually I get the blue card, and then the South Sector is all mine. But in between going to in between now and going to the South Sector, I do have to also win against a guy called Keith, who I would say is easier than the East Sector leader. However, in the Protocol Ruins, I do also want to defeat Pharaohmon, and he actually is a genuine threat because he can poison you. And seeing as I don't have any techniques that can cure poison, and seeing as I'm not allowed to use items, poison is genuinely, you know, threatening. The fact that I'm at level 20 and I've got Heat Cutter and Fire works quite well against Pharaohmon, you know, I shouldn't be panicking too badly, but it is possible for the fight to go wrong. You know, I'm not gonna try and conceal that. You know, the fight could go wrong. So yeah, East Station. That's the name of the place. So it's revealed that we need a blue card, and we can only get one from Gilmon. The annoying thing is there are numerous Gilmon, and I can't actually remember which one of us gives us the blue card, but I think you do have to travel from place to place and speak to one Gilmon who will give you dialogue, and then that will like trigger the appearance of another Gilmon in another area. And well, from going all over the place and speaking to all the Gilmon, eventually we end up with the blue card. Off the top of my head, I can't really remember exactly where to go and what to do, and you know, the order to do it in, but I'm just going to try and feel my way around. And I know that there was a Gilmon in here who is now gone, although I also seem to remember at some stage a Gilmon possibly spawns in here. Maybe not yet. Okay, well, not at the moment. Well, I know that a Gilmon shows at some stage, a Gilmon shows in the Forest Inn and in the Azuka City. So if I return to the city, stop off at the Forest Inn along the way, then I'm sure I will find at least one Gilmon. Although I am thinking about well, I am thinking about going to the Forest Inn, and then regardless of whether or not Gilmon is there, I then save, rest, and then go to the Protocol Ruins to see if I'm ready to take on Pharaohmon. And if all is good, then good, and if all is not so good, then bad. Either way, I will then head back for the Asuka City, where I will have to make it past Keith, but I'm not as worried about him. So, Forest Inn first. But do I need to rest? My HP and MP are full. Well, I don't need to rest then. But I would still like to save. Gilmon's not there. Not here either. So the first Gilmon who I speak to must be the one in the Asuka city. Not to worry. So I save here, and I'm either going to win against Pharaohmon and then head for the city, or I'm going to lose and then I'm going to reload and then I'll go to the city. With everything that I'm doing, with the grinding that I'm doing, and with me doing various things off camera, it may be hard for you to keep track on how much of the game that I've played, you know, because it said 4 hours 27, and it may also be hard for you to keep track of how much money I have, because I think it said 16,000 bits, because when I'm doing stuff off camera, you're not going to be seeing it, so the amount of time that I've been playing the game, you know, the time that displays, it's not going to be persistent with the duration of this challenge, because the game said 4 hours 27, and if you work out, if you like add up the videos that I've done, obviously it won't come to 4 hours 27, but that's because some of my progress was, you know, not recorded, because it was just me grinding. So please don't, like, scratch your heads if the timer seems inconsistent with, you know, how much, you know, like, video time there is. Not only that, but in between parts, very often I will pause or whatever, and I will then, like, end the part, I will leave the game on, I'll then, you know, like, save my commentary and, you know, get back onto Audacity, which is record my commentary on, and, you know, set up for the next part. And while I'm, you know, setting up and everything, a few minutes passed, and, you know, those few minutes will add on to game time. So just don't put too much thought into oh wait, what am I doing? I was meant to go to the Protocol Ruins. I'm so sorry. I was half focused on tracking down Gilmon that I completely forgot I was meant to go to the Protocol Ruins, and I've just gone straight to the city. Okay, well, sorry about that. Our next battle is against Keith. And as I was saying, yeah, don't put too much worry into the timer. And as for money, with the grinding, I'm going to be winning many battles off camera, so obviously I'm going to be gaining a lot of money that you're not going to see, and that's why, you know, my amount of money is probably going to really sort of stack up and stand out. And as well as that, I do get into random enemy encounters. When I'm grinding, I do get into random enemy encounters, which is what you can expect, where I will get different amounts of experience, different amounts of money, and sometimes they drop items. So, you know, that pretty much explains why I might randomly have items in my inventory, or why, just why, like, my amount of experience might seem a little off, or my amount of money, or anything like that. But I've explained before that whenever I, you know, do grinding and, you know, cut lots of it out and then carry on, I will always, you know, show you my inventory, my items, my status. I will always show you everything that you need to see to help explain to you where I'm up to, what I've done. The good thing about Keith is that I would say that he fights with his most powerful Digimon first, Triceramon, and then he drops down to Kotemon, and then he saves his worst Digimon until last. So Keith is an opponent who, you know, gets easier. He starts off sort of at his toughest, and then he gets weaker. So, well, the gist of what I'm saying is make it past his first Digimon and it just gets easier from there, really. Now, I'm sure the Guilmon is through here. If he's not in here, then I am kind of lost. But here he is, and I don't think I get the card just yet. Okay, so we've spoken to that Guilmon who doesn't have the blue card that we're after, but he advises that he does know of a Guilmon who does have a blue card, and he's heading for the East Sector city, which means that he might be at the East Sector city, but it is possible that he may have stopped off, and in which case, if he has, then it would be the Forest Inn. So I need to be sure to check the Forest Inn along the way, just in case the Guilmon I need is there. And don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the Protocol Ruins. It is in my mind. I want to just carry on with the blue card hunt for now. But I will battle Pharaohmon before I ride the gondola to the South Sector. You may think that for this stage of the game, getting Kotemon up to level 20 may seem a bit excessive, because even with all of the restrictions, level 20 is still pretty high for this stage of the game. But, oh, there is a Guilmon here. Okay, well, there was a Guilmon here, but he's not the one either, so I do need to go to the East Sector city. And yeah, I was saying about Kotemon, because yeah, I don't necessarily have to be as advanced as a level 20, but my intention is to go straight from Master Tyrannomon, which I've done, to the East Sector leader, which I've done, to Pharaohmon, which I haven't done yet, to Keith, which I have done, and then to Bulbmon, who I will be doing. So the plan is for me to pretty much go from one opponent to the next, without having any grinding in between. So when I was grinding, instead of thinking to myself, will I be able to handle Master Tyrannomon or whatever, what I was really thinking was, will I be able to handle Bulbmon? Because Bulbmon is the most powerful Digimon who I will be facing before entering the South Sector. So I just wanted to be relatively confident that I'm able to win against Bulbmon, and that's why I got Kotemon up to level 20. Of course, Bulbmon doesn't gain you any experience because you don't actually defeat him. So I don't actually have anything to gain from defeating Bulbmon, and because of that I might use Dinohumon instead of Kayakimon. Reason being, Dinohumon has Lizard Dance, which is probably going to be the best way to win against Bulbmon. Because Bulbmon is pretty tough. I'm hopeful that I can win against him, but I can't say for sure, and I just think that Lizard Dance is going to probably be my best bet. And at the moment with Kotemon, I've learned the Digivolution of 4 different Digimon. I can only ever have 3 available at one time, and it makes sense to have Dinohumon present so that I can benefit from his loaded techniques, so that other Digimon can use Heat Cutter, Frost Cutter, and some more heal. I think it's important to have Greymon and Kayakimon because I need to develop these Digimon. Greymon so that I can learn the Digivolution of Metal Greymon and War Greymon, and Kayakimon so that I can learn techniques like Burn Slash and Cold Slash and load such techniques, not to mention learning Blade Twister, which I find is quite a powerful technique, a useful technique, and it's obviously you know, his signature technique. XVmon, I got him up to level 5, which was required. I don't think I need XVmon for anything else, so that's why he was the Digimon who's been, well, ditched, basically. But if I'm overlooking something and I do need him, then not to worry, because I can always get him back in my team. I can always, you know, go to Piximon and make sure he's back in my team. So, the initial Guilmon who gave us the blue card was actually tricking us. It wasn't actually a blue card, it was a fake, and we now need to try again, this time to get the actual real blue card. And the Guilmon who I just spoke to explained that he doesn't have the blue card, and I'm sure that the Guilmon I need now is the Guilmon who shows in the Forest Inn, and I'm sure he's the one who presents us with the blue card, finally enabling us access to the South Sector. Do I need to rest? No, my HP and MP are just fine. Now the Gilmon isn't there because I'm sure that you have to climb down into this area, and I'm sure that he's hiding down here. There he is. And now we do have the proper blue card, and all that stands between us and the South Sector is a very nasty Digimon called Bulbmon. I call him nasty because I do have memories of him beating me quite badly. Not recently, but when I was younger I remember him giving me quite a hard time. Also, when I did my no gym, no equipment challenge back in 2012, I remember Bulbmon in that absolutely thrashed me because my Digimon, Kotemon, Renamon and Patamon were only like a level 12 or 13 or something, and I got absolutely thrashed. But then that prompted me to do grinding, and I did then defeat him, and that was with a level 20 Renamon. And I'm hoping I'm going to have the same outcome from a level 20 Kotemon. But difference being, I don't have any allies to back me up this time. So I've saved in the Forest Inn because I am now going to the Protocol Ruins to try and take on Pharaohmon. And that will then be followed by me riding the gondola to the South Sector and being challenged by Bulbmon. And we're up to level 5, which means that we've now learned Heat Cutter, which doesn't really make any difference since I had it loaded anyway. But using techniques that are loaded does cost slightly more MP than just using them naturally because you know them. So Heat Cutter's gonna be like a little bit cheaper in regards to MP usage, but that's really not that significant, to be honest. Okay, so I've made it up to here, and I have been going for almost half an hour, so I think this should be the end of this part. But when I take off for the next part, I'll be leaving straight from here. So yeah, that is the end of this part. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next part.